So this weekend was kind of a cool experience. I'm out here just taking a pit stop before I go into town, but this weekend helped restore some of my faith in humanity, and I really needed that. I needed for good people to come in and just show me that I'm not alone in all of this, to show me that, even though I know I'm not alone in a lot of my thoughts and feelings and what I'm going through, sometimes it does feel kind of isolating. Healing it takes a lot of work, and it is truly beautiful at times. And I think the last few weeks I kind of got caught back in this cycle of want and feeling some past kind of, I don't know what you would call it, just not aligned, I guess would be the best way to put it. Energetically, I was just not aligned, and I feel like I'm taking steps to get back to that place. And it takes steps. It doesn't just happen, and it doesn't just happen overnight. It's a matter of reaching out when you need people, and it's a matter of finding the people that are good for you during certain seasons of life. And so I'm learning to trust again. I'm learning to kind of put myself out there a little bit more, slowly but surely. This spring and this summer we're super active as far as making friends and connections and just meeting people in general. And I've loved it. I've blossomed in ways that truly I never expected. And so it was interesting. I got to hang out with a new friend last night, and she had asked me some questions that really made me think of certain things that I hadn't thought about, as far as just being in a season of slowdown and appreciation. And Thanksgiving has kind of always been kind of a weird holiday for me. And I got to find out a little bit more from my family as to why. And so it's been interesting. I personally realize that I have the choices to make and the ability to show up in any way that I choose to show up for anybody in my life, but especially for myself. And I realized certain things over this year, certain tendencies that I had adopted or adapted to throughout life, as far as like being a people pleaser and just wanting to make the world a better place. And I still very much do want to do those things, but I think reality is kind of setting in and helping me see where I'm needed and where I'm guided. And so it's been a really beautiful unfolding this year, getting to a place that I honestly had never ever really imagined, but had hoped and dreamt of for a long time. I get to look at myself now with no makeup, my hair a mess, dressed in whatever I want to wear, in like my most truest, authentic, loving self. And I finally get to see what I think other people had seen in me in my life that I was never able to accept. And it's been really just a huge blessing to get to experience this in life. And one thing that I realized a lot is that, you know, without going through or experiencing certain seasons of darkness, we can't really appreciate what we really have until we've seen the other side of it in a lot of ways. And I've learned that a lot over the last few years, is that life can be super messy and totally imperfect, but still be completely wonderful at its core when you slow down and really think of the things to be grateful for. To have had the experiences I have with living in different places and traveling and all these things that I realize that other people may have not experienced, getting to live in years of really deep, dark sadness and health problems and pain has made me just appreciate these times when I'm not hurting, when I'm not going through that. And it's really helped me to see the goodness. And I don't honestly think I would have appreciated this part of my life as much had I not experienced all of that hardness. And so that's just, you know, a perspective shift that I've had over the last year. Just really honing in on, you know, realizing that other people's lived realities are completely different than mine, and that no one will ever understand to the full extent my lived experience. There's people who will come into my life in my current state and not know that past person unless I decide to let them know, you know. And that's a really interesting thought that I had earlier, is like, I want to share parts of my story that I feel could help people, but at the same time, I also can choose to just live in the being that I am in this current moment and love it and relish it and appreciate it. So it's like, I want to take the lessons that I learned from the past and move forward with that. But I don't want to go so deep into those things that it brings me back there, you know. Being in the present has been really, really important for me to learn how to pull myself out of those deep, dark spots that sometimes our minds go to. And I know that I'm not alone in that. Negative self-talk was a really hard thing that I dealt with for a lot of my life. And so learning how to flip the script on that and how to love and respect myself and trust myself, it was a huge shift this year. And yeah, I just felt like sharing that because it just, I hope that if anybody watches these videos, that they understand that there is light. There is light at the end of this darkness, and that sometimes we have to seek out that light. And sometimes we have to search really hard for that light, but it's there.